Welcome in to NFL Daily. I am Will Scott. We have a lot to get into on today's show, and we begin with some breaking news. Not a surprise, but it is now official. Alabama quarterback Bryce Young, the potential number one overall pick, has announced that he is entering the 2023 NFL Draft. This comes after a spectacular career and a spectacular season at Alabama. And he went off with a bang, destroying Kansas State in the Sugar Bowl, throwing for 5 touchdowns in that game. He finishes the year with 32 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, over 3,300 yards, a 64.5% completion percentage, and he is expected to be the number one pick in the NFL Draft. Now, who is going to draft Bryce Young? Let me know down in the comments section. Now, right now, the Houston Texans have the number one overall pick. But if they win and the Chicago Bears lose on Sunday, then the Bears are going to have the number one pick. And they're obviously not going to take a quarterback, but maybe they'll look to trade out of that slot. So it's going to be interesting. But you got to believe if the NFL draft is how it is right now, and the Texans have the number one overall pick, then Bryce Young is going to Houston. That appears to be what's going to happen. Ari Mirov tweeted this: Alabama pass rusher Will Anderson has declared for the 2023 NFL Draft. So not only is Young going to the NFL Draft, but so is his teammate Will Anderson. Those might be the number one and number two overall picks. I think if the Texans have the first overall pick, Young is going to be a Texan. If the Bears have the number two overall pick, I think it makes some sense to draft Will Anderson. So probably the two biggest talents in this draft class have made official declaring for the NFL Draft. Now let's get into the next part of the show. That is all about NFL injury news, and we begin with Teddy Bridgewater. The Dolphins quarterback left Sunday's game versus the Patriots and did not return. Speculation is that Bridgewater's injury is a broken finger, and if that's the case, he would miss Week 18's must-win game against the Jets. And if that happens, rookie quarterback Skylar Thompson would be in line to start because Tua Tagovailoa is still in the concussion protocol. Bridgewater appears to have a broken finger. So the rookie quarterback from Kansas State, the 7th-round pick, would go out for the biggest game of his life with a must-win game, obviously, being the case. The Dolphins are in the playoffs. If they win that game against the Jets and if the Patriots lose to the Buffalo Bills. Now, can the Dolphins win with Skylar Thompson? Why for yes, in for no, down in the comment section. The Dolphins are going to have to bring in another quarterback to back him up. So they might poach someone from a practice squad. They worked out Kyle Lauletta and Jack Cohn the other day. Neither of those guys were signed. But a lot of Dolphins fans throwing around Ryan Fitzpatrick is maybe a name to watch here. That would be something. Fitzmagic coming back for a must-win game. We'll have to wait and see. It's probably not going to happen, though. Let's talk about another quarterback now. Nick Foles was carted off the field with a ribs injury against the Giants. So he got his second start of the season with the Colts, but was carted off the field in the first half with a ribs injury. It was a scary video. He was kind of shaken. Kayvon Thibodeau was doing a snow angel, didn't realize that Foles was on the ground after he had sacked him. So hopefully Nick Foles is okay. But it does appear that Sam Ehlinger could start the Colts' regular season finale against the Texans. And I believe that he should. I don't think going back to Matt Ryan really makes a lot of sense here in the last game of the season. I can't believe they didn't go to Ehlinger earlier. I mean, back, in October, they're like, he's going to be our starting quarterback for the rest of the season. Then they fire Frank Reich and go back to Matt Ryan, who they're 1-6 since that decision. So that really did not make a lot of sense for me. I think that they should have wanted to see, I should say, in what they had with Sam Ehlinger before going into an unpredictable offseason here. But let's see how Sam Ehlinger potentially does here in the regular season finale, if he can make a case to be in the mix to be the Colts starting quarterback next season. Jacoby Myers, meanwhile, he left Sunday's win versus the Dolphins with a shoulder injury and did not return. That Patriots wide receiver room certainly not of strength. So if Jacoby Myers is out from win or go home game against Buffalo, that would certainly not be good for New England. What is good is this deal we're giving you through Rocket Money. RocketMoney.com/NFL Daily is the link. They are sponsoring today's show, and they are helping you cancel unnecessary subscriptions. That's why I love using Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. They're going to show all your subscriptions in one place and then cancel for you whatever you don't still want. You may even find out you've been double charged for a subscription. To cancel one, all you got to do is press cancel. They will take care of the rest. RocketMoney.com/NFL Daily. They're also going to track your spending, tell you how much money that you've spent per month and kind of compare that to previous months. So I'm going to try to spend less money than I did last month, and Rocket Money is helping me cancel that. They're also going to tell you how much money you're spending on your bills, on food. I spent way too much money eating out last year. That's definitely going to be something I try to fix this year. Rocket Money's helped me do that. Go download the app at RocketMoney.com/NFL Daily. Let's talk about some Broncos injury news now. Marlon Mack, Damari Mathis, Dalton Risner, and P.J. Locke all left yesterday's game against the Chiefs with injuries. Mack was a hamstring, Mathis a concussion, Risner an elbow, and Locke with an ankle injury. In that game against the Chiefs had two guys get injured as well. Sky Moore with the hand, and guard Joe Thuney with an ankle injury did not return against the Broncos. So that's something to monitor going in to the last week of the regular season, because Kansas City can clinch the number one seed with a win against the Raiders in their regular season finale and one Buffalo loss. Buffalo plays tonight against the Bengals in Cincinnati. That's going to be tough. Then they host the Patriots next week. The Vikings, meanwhile, they're 12-4 now after yesterday's loss. Not only did they lose, but Brian O'Neill was ruled out with a calf injury versus the Packers. He's going to have an MRI on his calf muscle to see how much time he's going to have to miss. That would be a pretty significant blow for that Vikings offensive line. And then linebacker Brian Asamoah did not return with a knee injury in the 41-17 loss yesterday to the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, Vikings haters this year have been loud, as producer Patrick Seaman, a Vikings fan, knows. And this game certainly did not help because a lot of people believe that this team is fraudulent. What are the Vikings? Are they contenders or are they frauds? Type C for contenders or type F for frauds. All I'm going to say, if Kirk Cousins has to play in a Monday night playoff game, you should bet the house on the Giants or whoever they're going to play in that game. Let's talk about the Eagles now. They're currently the number one seed. Josh Sweat, though, was carted off the field with a neck injury. It was a really scary injury. Now, the team did say after the game that he had movement in all of his extremities, so that was good to hear. And then this was also good to hear from Josh Sweat tweeting this out after the game. Thank you for your prayers and support. I'll be back this season. Go Birds. So that's great. Very scary injury in the moment. Obviously, it looked very serious, but Josh Sweat saying he is going to be okay. For the Steelers, meanwhile, Miles Jack left the game with the groin, and James Pierre left the game with the concussion. And the Steelers, though, with that win, keeping their playoff hopes alive. The Steelers, who were really bad earlier this year, I don't think we expected them to be coming into Week 18 with a chance. Here's what has to happen, and all these three things are possible. They got to win at home against Cleveland. The Dolphins, who are down to their third-string rookie quarterback, have to lose to the Jets, and the Patriots have to lose to the Bills. If all three of those things happen, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to the playoffs. That's crazy. Will the Steelers make the playoffs? Type M for make or type W for won't down in the comments section. Go down and let me know what you think. It's going to be tough for the Patriots to win in Buffalo, but Bill Belichick in a must-win game, I mean, he's going to be tough to beat there. And then, the Dolphins, they're down to their third-string quarterback, but did you watch the New York Jets play yesterday? So it feels like the Dolphins should win that game next week, even with Skylar Thompson. Go down, subscribe to the channel. We're going to have you covered later on with an AFC playoff picture video, so be sure to stay tuned for that. And if you haven't checked out our NFC playoff picture video, the link to that is in the comments and the description of today's show.